Hi there, thanks for checking my latest video out. This is to do with a bugbear of mine, and that is the constant cost of charging or keeping these trail cams charged up. It really winds me up. So up to a couple of days ago, I'm buying these lithium batteries. They're fantastic, but they're really, really expensive, and I'm a little bit of a tight git. So I've been looking at alternatives, because the reason that we go for the lithium batteries is because of not only the performance, they work better in the cold weather. During the winter they last longer, but 8 batteries, 10 to 15 quid for 3 months, it's just a little bit steep. So we've got these trail cams. They're fantastic, but the downside is that they just absolutely drain these batteries. You know, they're capturing footage at 60 frames per second. It's all HD, it's all high quality stuff. You know, you need massive SD cards now just to keep all the information on. So they're brilliant, but that's the cost, you know, of having good wildlife footage of these batteries. So I've seen loads of videos on the net looking for alternatives. And it's the American guys, they're so innovative, they've come up with a few solutions. And one of them is obviously getting one of these cables. It's a 12 volt DC cable, hooking it up to a small battery, small rechargeable battery. The one that I've got here now is 12 volts, 1.2 amps, so it's quite small, and going from there. So I've done that, and I'm probably getting about 2 days worth of charge out of that little battery, which is great for the garden. But when I want to be taking my gear back up to the woods when this lockdown is over, I don't want to be going up there and having to change a battery every 2 days. So the American guys, what they're doing is they're taking these motorcycle batteries or car batteries, 50, 80, 100 amps, and they're just leaving them up in the woods for weeks on end. But I don't want to be lugging a big battery with all my gear, so I'm thinking of an alternative, and I've seen some other videos, and it's with solar power. So the next stage is I'm going to have a look at the solar power options. We're going to see whether it's worth sticking with buying local, whether it's worth going on eBay, checking out maybe a few international sellers, people that they're obviously manufacturing these panels quite cheaply, check the reliability of the gear and that, see if they actually, you know, do what they're meant to do. Because I know the Americans, they're picking their solar panels and all their cables and all their batteries really, really cheaply, but we don't get that benefit in this country. Everything's that slightly more expensive. So we've got to do a little bit of a cost-benefit analysis to make sure that, you know, we get our value for money and we get our money back on this, you know, over the next, maybe not just 3 months, but 3 years. So I'll check out the solar panels, and we hopefully will see something that might work for us. So I did my research, I looked on the available options, and I've wimped out. I've gone for this simple, safe option, Halfords, 15 quid. It's simply because I'm not 100% sure that this is going to work. If it doesn't work, I can take it back, I get my money back, there's no issue. It's a bit more tricky with eBay and that, with returns and getting your money back. So gone for the Halfords, 15 quid. I've done my research on it. It seems like a pretty decent unit, unbranded, but obviously the warranty comes through Halfords, so I'm happy with that. Obviously eBay lead-in times, they say 3 to 5 days for delivery. I'm still waiting on stuff, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in ordering. Still haven't got them, so I thought 10 minutes down to Halfords, click and collect, job done. Right, so what do we get in the box? We get an instruction manual, which is all right, very simple. We've got the unit itself and a couple of connectors and some suction plugs for the windscreen if you wanted to charge your car battery. There's a couple of good features on this. The unit is actually water resistant. It says it on the box, so I'm inclined to believe it. It's needed, the British weather being what it is. This unit's going to get hammered, so we need something that's going to be able to stand up for that. And we've got a reverse polarity protection on this unit as well, which is a diode that probably sits on the circuit board or within the cable. And what that will do is, when the panel itself isn't charging at night, it'll stop the trickle feed coming from the battery. In other words, depleting the battery. So that will stop that happening. So the battery will be fully charged and it will hopefully retain as much of the charge as possible. So that's a cracking little feature. The unit, it's about 30 centimetres by 10 by about 1.5 centimetres. It's made from hard plastic, seems quite robust. A couple of mounting holes, which will be handy for me because I'll try and knock up a system if this actually works. That'll be something I'll work on. You can obviously see here now that there's a flashing LED light. That tells me that this unit, this solar panel, is drawing down solar energy as we speak in gloomy conditions late evening. So that's great. So the connectors are here. We'll get rid of the battery charger for the car, and all you do is you just connect one into the other, job done. So yes, I have my new toy and I want to play with it. I've set the solar panel up on an old fishing rod stand. Cable side, just a quick job just to get the thing up and running. Got the trail cam in that position. It's going to be picking up activity hopefully in that corner where I've been taking rats quite consistently over the last few nights. So this is the setup that we have. So I want to do a quick check on the battery. So this was charged up until a little while ago, and you're looking at 93% and it's kicking out 13 volts. So that's our baseline figure for about 7 o'clock at night. So it'll be quite interesting to see by tomorrow morning what that battery capacity will be, whether it'll be depleted, whether it'll be the same or extended. We'll check that out tomorrow. So the setup is really simple. So we've got the 12 volt DC cable from the trail cam. So I'm going to connect them up first onto the spades of the little rechargeable battery, and then the crocodile clips from the solar panel just clips on there, and that's it. That's your setup complete. So disappointingly, these don't work. These 1.2 amp lead acid batteries, they're just not fit for purpose. I had them lying around because I was using them to power some pecking crow decoys that I had in my decoy pattern when I was pigeon shooting last year with the air rifle, and they were brilliant, did the job. But in this context, obviously, they're then not gonna be sufficient for what we need them for. If you're going to go lead acid battery, you've got to go big, you've got to go car battery. I don't want to be lugging a car battery around the type of places that I go shooting. So the alternatives, having looked at the American YouTube footage, something I didn't really pick on when I was looking at everything first time round, was if you're going to go small, you've got to go nickel metal hydride. And that type of battery is small and really, really powerful. So I've ordered some off eBay. I paid about 10 quid. They're not really that expensive unless you want to go through Farnell or CPC, one of the big electrical wholesalers. So, I've gone quite cheap and cheerful. I want to see if this technology works. And obviously, if I don't have much success with them, I've got the 30-day money back guarantee from eBay. So no real harm done. We'll get it tested. We'll see if this system works one way or another. So this is first day of testing with a new nickel metal hydride battery, because the lead acid batteries that we used previously weren't up to much really, not with this type of solar panel system that we're trialling at the moment. So the NIMH batteries, they were charged overnight to 100% capacity. Then 7 o'clock this morning I set everything up and we're about 12 hours on, 7 p.m, and that's looking pretty good. 100% capacity on the battery and it's kicking out 13.5 volts, so that's great to this point. But what's going to be interesting is overnight with the battery drain, and how long it'll take for the solar panel to recharge that battery up to full capacity in the morning, and that'll probably give us a decent indication whether this system will actually work. So the moment of truth, I've got 2 of the panels set up, and they're both feeding now the trail cam. So let's have a look. Oh, so there you are. So we're looking at 54% capacity on the battery, and it's throwing out 11.9 volts on output. You know, when I've done my research, these solar panels, they want south-facing exposure so that they get the arc of the sun from east till west all day long, so they're drawing in solar energy, you know, for hours and hours and hours. Unfortunately, my solar panels, they're in cover, as you can see, which would be the woodland setting that I've got the trail cams in anyway. It's east facing, so I'm probably getting not even half a day's worth of solar energy here onto these panels. So it makes sense that possibly this system is a little bit light, but where do you draw the line? What size solar panels do I need for this system to work? Do I go 6 watts, 10 watts, 20 watts? And at what cost? Because they're not cheap. Decent water resistant panels are expensive, and it would be probably by the time you've bought the panels, the cables, the batteries, you're looking at, it would be years before you get your money back. So this is what I made out of some spare timber that I had lying around, so it hasn't cost me anything. I'll be sticking the battery in there, running some cables through, solar panels to sit on top of here on this piece of timber. It'll be quite mobile, can move it around the garden, so it should be just fine. So that's the finished unit. It's basically a box with a couple of solar panels on top. I've set the panels on a 35-degree angle, which is meant to be optimum for solar panel coverage, from what I've read, but then again I've read a lot of stuff that hasn't really come true. But so we're feeding the battery via a cable here through the box from the solar panel into the little hidey hole, and then another little cable running to the indicator, which has been brilliant through all the testing, so I can just pop my head around the corner and see how we're doing on the charging. So this wasn't the intended use for this gear. I was hoping that it would charge these trail cams direct, but that wasn't to be. So this is the next best thing, I think. Try and get my money back on the gear that I've spent. Probably get it back over time, but you've got to try these things just to see if they work, instead of just, you know, watching YouTube and just believing everything that people tell you. So I'm going to wrap the video up. Please click like if you like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you like these types of videos, and catch up with you soon, and thank you for watching.